Welcome to Part 8 of the 16-part series of the Citizens Policy Center training. In this one, Allie and Patrick continue to show you how to do a quick quote. This series is brought to you compliments of Specialty Insurance Agents of Florida. Be sure to check them out at siaof.com. This lesson was brought to you by Affinity Insurance Agency, so you be sure to contact them before you renew your E&O insurance.
And we've got a whole bunch of extra information now on our screen. Let's take a look at the info bar. That shows us the quick quote is now in a premium estimated mode. So now there's no changes we can make right now without clicking the Edit Transaction button. If I clicked Edit Transaction, it would go back to a draft status, and I could make whatever changes I need to make, and then click the Premium Estimate button to get back to an estimated premium. You'll notice that our quick quote number is the same as the submission number listed here, okay? And some other buttons that are available here is a Save Draft button, which is, if I click that Save Draft button, it should have undid that, but I think there may be some unsaved work in the background. Maybe somebody else is logged in with this same login right now. We've got the Full App button still there. The Versions button we'll come back to in a moment. But what I wanted to show you is this Print Options button. We asked at the front end, how do we print items for the customer? Right here you go. The first option you have there is the Print Estimate. So we're going to print out this single page estimate. And what the system's doing is it's going to generate a PDF document, and you'll be able to use that document as the premium estimate for your customer. We'll put that up on the screen for you. And there it is. This is the single page estimate. Now it comes up in a separate PDF window. You can save this, email it, print it for your customer, whatever you need to do with it, so that they have the access to the information about what created the premium estimate. And you may want to know, well, how was that rating done? Well, as we go back to our Policy Center screen and back to the Print Options button, I have the option here to print a worksheet. And this is the full rating worksheet based off of the information that you've given us in the system here. And here it comes. It's going to pop up as a PDF again. And I'll show you that PDF. And this is the rating worksheet for this HO4 Contents Only policy. And you can see that there's 2 pages to that. It talks about the capping structure and all of that. So you could, again, it's a PDF. You could save it. You could email it. You can print it as you like. And I'm going to go back to my Policy Center screen and pass it back over to Allie.
All right, so now that our quick quote is in premium estimate, 1 or 2 of 3 situations may occur. All right, so your customer may ask you, I want to see different coverage amounts and how that might affect the premium, and I'll show you how to do that in just a couple of minutes. All right, they may also say, let's go ahead and proceed, and again, we'll show you that as well. Or they may say, I am not interested, and if they say they're not interested, I'll point you to a job aid later in the webinar and explain how to withdraw the transaction. All right, so if a customer comes up to you and says, let's see what happens if we change some coverage amounts, you have the option to create a multiple version by clicking on the Versions button at the top of your screen and selecting Start Multi-Version. All right, so if you notice once we click Start Multi-Version, if you take a look at the info bar, you'll notice that you're now in Quick Quote Draft. So it changed from Premium Estimate to Quick Quote Draft. And then if you look right below that, it'll show you that you're in version number 2. Okay, so we're no longer in version number 1. We are in draft mode for a second version. Okay, so we would navigate the side links here to update whatever it is that we need to. And since our customer is asking us to update coverages, we're going to change the AOP deductible here. All right, and so once we've made all the changes that we need to make for this second version, we would simply click on Premium Estimate again. All right, so now that I've clicked on Premium Estimate, if you look at the bottom of the screen, a validation error has occurred, letting us know that Coverage C needs to be at least $50,000. So we want to make sure that we update the coverage. And again, if there's any validation errors, it will let you know what you need to do. All right, so we'll click on Premium Estimate again. All right, and now, if you look at the info bar, it says Quick Quote Premium Estimated for version number 2, now that we click that Premium Estimate button. All right, so now you're probably wondering how am I supposed to view this side by side? If you take a look at the side toolbar, you'll see a link that says Policy Versions. If I click on Policy Versions, it's going to bring up my version number 1 and version number 2 side by side. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to check the box next to version number 1. All right, and so you'll notice that it allows for me to either select the version, which is to go into that version. I could rename that version to something that would be easier for me to remember, or I could withdraw that version. All right, so if I put a check mark next to the version number 2 box, you'll see that select and renamed became grayed out. I can no longer select or rename them. However, I still have the option to withdraw, and you'll see that compare also became hyperlinked. So I have the ability to compare. So I'm going to click on Compare, and then I'm going to click on Expand All. All right. So what this will do is show me the details side by side of version number 1 next to version number 2, and it shows us everything that we made changes to between the 2 versions. All right, so if your customer says that, you know, I'm not interested in the quick quote, then what you could do is you could either check the box and click Withdraw at the top, or you can check the box and go into the version by clicking Select. All right, and then that Close option button at the top there that Patrick pointed out earlier, if you click on that, it will allow for you to withdraw the transaction. All right, so we're not actually going to withdraw the transaction, but I did want to show you where that button was located. All right, and so your last scenario, your customer comes up to you and they say, you know what, let's do it. Let's go ahead and jump into a full application. All right, so if your customer wants to proceed, you would click on the Full App button located here. All right, so once we click on the Full App button, any fields that we filled out while creating our quick quote, they're already in here for us, and the system will take you step by step through the rest of the application. Okay, so we want to complete the rest of the fields by answering these pre-qualification questions. All right, and if you take a look at this info bar, you'll notice that it no longer says quick quote, but now it says submission and it says draft, letting us know that we are in draft mode for the submission.